as they used to say on City and Sweep. It'll be a miracle if that gets in.
Are we in?
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome.
Oh, we're live. Yeah, we're live. Here we go.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Let's Drone Out. Tonight, we are joined by the man with the moustache.
Hello, welcome, good evening.
Oh, you're a little quiet, Stephen.
You are. I was
Outrageous.
just about to turn my volume up then.
I know, you were fine before the show. Do you want to give it another go?
Check, check, check. Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom, boom.
There you go. You sound better.
Yeah. Now
Right.
say hello, I'm Stephen.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Drone Out.
Or don't say hello, I'm Stephen.
Hello, I'm Stephen. What's
Yep,
your
and
name?
And that's how he will sound for the rest of the show. And tonight we are joined by everyone's favourite. Well, actually, no. We've got FatTech
Oh, you
scum.
slipped. You slipped.
We've got FatTech scum.
FatTech
Fail
scum.
safe. Yeah, how you
Hey,
doing?
guys.
All right, mate.
Hello, what's it like being scum? How are you doing? Lovely to see you.
Oh dear.
You fly a bit of everything, don't you?
Oh, well, fly a bit of everything. Oh, I'm not really flight controllers. I mean, I've tried some other ones recently. I say recently, a few months ago, but it's mostly been FatTech. Can't lie.
You say tried. I mean, there was a gun. It was at my head.
Yeah.
I brought this out of storage just to be like.
Oh.
The Holy Grail.
Damn. I'm waiting for Finley in the chat to be like, yeah.
I know, innit?
This Ultra.
I know.
I'm
He will.
surprised.
I know. I'm only being like this because Felix won't talk to me.
Oh.
Illicit
You won't talk to you at all.
I don't know.
Illicit.
Yeah,
Oh.
maybe. I don't know.
What have you got there?
I haven't done.
Stephen?
I don't know. He just
What you got
ignores
there?
me.
It's secret sauce.
Secret sauce. Oh, right.
Secret squirrel.
Secret unlabeled black motors.
Oh, Sam.
Say
So,
nothing but
anyway.
FatTech on them.
Yeah, we're joined by FailSafe, the lovely FailSafe, who
Hello.
isn't actually FatTech scum, but he's very nice in our Discord. If you've ever had the pleasure of talking to him, you're very knowledgeable. You've been up and coming. You've been very busy. We first properly encountered you in the wild at the FPV Drone Fest.
Yeah.
Which
Awesome
reminds
event.
me, my buddy Cole says hello, by the way, and sends his love. He's asleep right now because it's 4 a.m.
Oh,
He's in Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan. 4
a.m. Gosh.
Yeah, so we were seeing you at FPV Drone Fest, and you'd carted along a whole bunch of cables and monitors and a plethora of quads that you just fixed after smashing them to pieces in Croatia like a week before, I think.
Yeah.
And you were busy showing everyone a fantastic new system that you'd managed to get your hands on.
Yeah.
And it was able to give you HDMI out to the monitor and things, and it was quite shiny.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a bit about like how that started?
So Walksnail, the new sort of company. I'm not sure like the backstory of them, but I was quite interested to check it out. Being on DJI for like a year, no, almost 2 years, I think. Because I got DJI my birthday last year, or I think it's the year before. It might have been actually it was last year or the year before. Not quite sure.
One or two.
One or two. But yeah, I obviously wanted to check it out because it seemed to be, I really like the form factor. In fact, I've got the goggles right here to show you. But a small form factor, really compact. It's got OLED screens, and I think DJI are kind of going a bit. They seem to be going a bit quiet for like the year. They've had this whole year of releasing the V2 goggles. I think that they've been pretty quiet. They haven't really. I was just like, what's next from DJI basically. And now we've heard of the O3 system, and sort of direction they're heading. But yeah, so I decided to check it out. I asked in the Discord if if Tech could get them in stock. Tech got them in stock, and then I asked if I can have a set to borrow to basically just check out and let people know what I think. And yeah, it's just taken off ever since, really. And been in the Walksnail Facebook group, which started off to be a bit of a mess. Let's be real here.
A dumpster fire.
It was an absolute mess. Like,
it was started by someone who wasn't even in Walksnail, right? It's just a bit of a joke.
Yeah, and it was like there was people just getting these random firmwares out of nowhere that were supposed to be really good. They were posting videos of them on Facebook, and it was just a bit chaotic. And I was just like, I reached out to them, was like, do you want me to help sort this out, be a moderator? Because there was also a load of problems at the time with like spam and stuff like that as well. So I went to be a moderator, and then I asked them about want to do a Discord server. So I just recently set up a Discord server for them. It's now got just over 1,000 members now, which is pretty insane. That we can get that many people over there, I guess.
Well done.
And literally no one. There's only like, well, I'm literally the main person running it all. That like Walksnail, they chime in occasionally, but it's mainly just me running it, which has been a bit of an effort to sort of sort everything out. We've now got a download center, so you can download all the firmwares. We're now doing public betas, so basically anyone in the Discord server, one of the perks of being a Discord server is you get access to those new firmwares first, because we'll publish them in there first. And we also now basically got feedback forms. So basically had an idea of doing a Google form for each of the firmwares. People then can write out, I've had this problem with it. What, that'll be sent straight back to Walksnail. They can then implement those fixes. Cool. They've also got, what you want to see as new features. We've got a section there for that as well. So yeah, it's been, I felt like I've really improved the whole way of doing things. It's a great community for people to sort of get help on. And I've literally always been on Discord. Discord's probably my most favorite social media platform. It's just really good for the hobby, instead of Facebook and personally. And yeah, it's just really kicked off since then, really. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the system, and they've come a long way. I mean, at the start of it, I remember thinking, hang on, I might have to actually send these back to Tech, because this is absolutely stupid. It was pixely, it was the really blocky. You saw in the earlier firmwares, it was super blocky, and you could barely see any details in the grass and stuff like that. And it got to the point where I was like, hang on, is this a hardware thing or is this a software thing? Turns out they massively improved it, to the point it really isn't an issue anymore for me. And the thing with Walksnail is at the edge of range, what's been a bit of a problem recently is it gets so worse so quick, and you get
not a lot of warning, is there?
Yeah, it's the drop-off point is quite high. So I think it's with DJI it's a bit more stable, like when you go further away. But with Walksnail it kind of does cut out, and I had a few occasions where it just cut out completely. So it's not perfect, and they are working on it. The past few firmwares have been improving that whole drop-off towards the edge of range. I don't think it's got quite
a red frame around the video, which is quite eye-catching now. So you definitely know something's gone wrong.
So yeah, but yeah, it's been really good. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, really. Don't know if there's anything really else.
Well, what about the future? Like, where's it going? It was launched, obviously, and everyone compared it not against HD0, which is more racers, a bit more basic, functional, but they compared it against DJI, and DJI, absolutely gigantic company. Yeah. They took the same chipset, they took this Artisan chipset, an older version of it, and they've been cranking it out for years. So DJI had like prior experience with it, and they just kind of lifted that chipset out, put it in a little box, and sold it to the FPV crowd, right?
Yeah.
And Walksnail had to kind of meet parity with DJI, so they had a tall order just to get to that with no prior experience. But how do you think they're doing against that, and where do you think they'll go from here?
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Like, I don't really know sort of the backstory. I think I don't know if it's an ex-employee of DJI who started Walksnail up, or what the backstory is, but I think they've got a lot of potential to deliver on sort of, especially the niche areas in FPV like for example the 1S, they are tiny whoops, like just a nicheness that DJI won't really pay attention to, because DJI are mainly sort of, they've got a massive audience, haven't they? They're gonna I don't know if they're gonna be really focused that much on sort of us FPV pilots, but that might just be my opinion.
They want to go for the glamorous stuff. I think that's what the O3 system shows us. They want to go for people who are chasing cars and filming commercials and doing all this stuff.
In fairness to them, they've delivered canvas mode, which is, I never expected them to do that, because they have been promising it. I say they have been, Cadix have, because then that develops into Walksnail. But yeah, I didn't really expect O3. O3 is amazing. It looks amazing. Like, I can't lie about that at all. But yeah, there is some little areas, like, in fact, I'll show you now. This 1S VTX, which is absolutely tiny. This is not the tiniest version. They went from this one here. That was that was the first version there.
And these are on 25 by 25 holes for scale, right?
25 by 25 mounting holes, yeah. So, for instance, I'm going to be building a toothpick build. Thanks you so much to Philip, by the way, FatTech, for these motors, which he sort of sent over from Croatia for me to do.
What motors are you running?
They are RC Power 1202 11,000 kV. So it's going to be a 1S build, I think this one is. And we could check that out. 20 by 25 mounting, and it fits perfectly. It's such a low profile thing. So yeah, I'm excited to be building that as well. So yeah,
I've put mine on a 2.5 inch, which is equally small. And you're right. It just fits right in there. It wasn't a struggle. There's space in there. There's an AIO and there's the camera, and it wasn't a difficult build at all. It was just straightforward.
Yeah,
no problem. It fits in the existing antenna holders for Omnis. It's the same size as a lot of other Omnis. I'm struggling to remember, but a lot of very popular. It's 11mm wide, and it just matches all the existing holders. Yeah, it's really very easy to put together, and it worked a treat.
Yeah,
I think you go down to 350 milliwatt rather than 700 milliwatt because of the lack of heat sinks. Yeah,
you do.
Smaller power stage.
Small power, yeah. And also, they've been working on this as well, which I just arrived today.
Say what you see.
Time. So this is, what do you mean say what I see?
Well,
audio listeners.
Failsafe. I don't know whether you keep moving your feet, but there's like a bump thing of you
my chair.
moving around. Yeah. You
For
can go
our audio
easily.
listeners, Failsafe is holding a mysterious dark plastic box.
So I'm currently holding the Walksnail 1S, the new 1S. I'm on about what's it called again? Damn it, VRX module. There we go. The VRX module, which is
the thing that you bolt on the front of your Fat Shark goggles.
Bolt on the front of your goggles, yeah. So it's got this little mounting thing. It thinks the same as what you'd usually use for sort of shark bite. So most of the mounts will be compatible for that. And yeah, it bolts to your front of your goggles. You've got built-in patch antennas at the front there. Haven't tested it out yet, so don't know. But yeah. And got obviously SD card inside, power input. You've also got all the buttons on top there as well, back and home, and a joystick at the side. And HDMI, a mini HDMI out as well. To connect up to your goggles, which is really great.
So I had the HD zeros on this, and what he's talking about is that a lot of people are putting fan mounts, and you can see there's a bolt through the front of my fan mount there. And the idea is you hang the module off the front of that different fan mount that you 3D print and screw on in place of the regular one, and then it just hangs down the front.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm just going to read the chat quick because I think I don't think we've been really paying that much attention to it. So look, you guys should try and get hold of Drone Mesh. We'd love to hear from him. Yeah, Drone Mesh. I would watch his videos all the time, and now he just completely vanished after his one video.
Neuroflight. Maybe they got him. Maybe the robot army got him.
But yeah, be really good to get him on because yeah, he.
You're getting shouted at by your masters. No, you're right, Finley.
Hi, Finley.
Hey, it's good to see you. He is second command, isn't he?
Finley.
Yeah.
I guess so. You can read through the chat.
So about Drone Mesh, the last thing I heard, he was working on a flight control software. He was trying to use machine learning to tune it, to get it to respond, instead of a standard PID controller. And he was calling it Neural Flight or Neuroflight.
Yeah.
And it was based on a continuation of a guy's PhD work that had been out for a little while. And he was talking about this, talking about releasing betas, set up his own Discord, I think, and then just basically went silent a couple of months after that.
He had like a lot of sort of startup. He has a lot of ideas. Like he even developed his own sort of social media platform. I don't know when you know that. And that just completely, that just one time, it just completely went like that, just completely disappeared. And we asked, was one person asked in the comment section, of just like, oh, I've just closed it down because it wasn't financially viable or whatever. Which I can kind of understand.
Maybe he just hit financial issues and had to go get a real job and stop doing YouTube stuff. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
That's it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your FatTechness?
FatTech. Yeah. So I originally got into FatTech, I think the start of 2021. I don't know. One pilot FPVG, who's an amazing pilot. You should go check him out. He flies FatTech, the F7 board. He was flying out at the time, and I saw some of his videos, his raw videos. It was just like, it's flying incredibly smooth and everything. I was like, oh, my Christmas present. I'm just gonna get a FatTech stack, which was the 45 amp ESC and the F7 flight controller. Which at the time was like FatTech's sort of best sort of premium stack. So yeah, I tried that and I really enjoyed the simplicity of it. Back before then, I was kind of flying Betaflight and I was PID tuning to try and get it flying exactly the way I wanted it to. And it gets to a point where it gets a bit ridiculous and you get obsessed with it. I think.
So you weren't born when this came out?
No, was I not? Was that the Kiss? Is that the Kiss V1?
He's kidding. It's like 3 or 4 years old.
No. No, actually, no, you were born then. This you won't know. This is when fire was invented. And then this was just before you were born.
Oh, yes. Is that
you can tell their Kiss because they've got a really awkward shape that doesn't make use of all the available space.
Yeah.
That's their trademark, that is.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't seen the G4 yet.
The G4, I got one on hand.
Yeah, great bits off that.
This one, I'm pretty sure this one. Oh yeah, this one died. Yeah, I remember now. This one died. I plugged in an ESC back to front, as I've done like to 3 flight controllers already. I've just killed this one. So yeah, doesn't work. But that is a FatTech 30. What am I on about? It's a G4 N. No, just a standard G4 because it has the OSD chip on it. But yeah. So yeah, I got a random message on Facebook. No, not Facebook. Discord.
The connectors. There's only one size of connector, and it only goes in one way.
Is it JST?
XH?
GH or SH? Is it 1.0?
Yeah.
I think it's
1.0. Oh, okay, I've got bags of those. So I'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of JST connectors.
At the time, I don't know if you guys have seen, but on my channel, I've got a Kiss Ultra maiden video. So at the time, I was loving Kiss Ultra. I was actually in the Discord messaging saying, "Oh, hang on, I accidentally put stabilization on." It was just flying so smooth. And I posted that in the FatTech Discord. Yeah, he's really good. I can't lie.
Did they tie you up and like start spit roasting you, like the fire underneath and?
Like, so I posted a video. I posted my FatTech maiden video
complex.
in the I posted my Ultra Maiden video in the FatTech Discord. A day later, Felix messaged me on Discord. He's like, "Have you got the G4? Have you chucked G4?" I was like, "No, I haven't." And I was like, "Yeah." And then the next thing you know, G4 showed up at my door and and then I tried it out, and I really like that as well. So, and I really like the alpha firmware.
The UK.
They do. FatTech do.
Oh, I can't even get towards me. I like the way he talks to you. Maybe that's what I should do. Just get
Maybe you should just get good, man. Just fly. Just fly more. Post videos obsessively.
So yeah, I got the G4, and I was initially sort of invited into the alpha firmware testing, which is a new firmware that FatTech have developed for the FatTech flight controllers. So I've been.
Is it going to be called alpha now? It's kind of their leading edge. It's kind of their main firmware now, isn't it? And KISS is like the legacy firmware. So is it still going to be called alpha forever?
So alpha's, I'm not quite sure why they've named it alpha, to be honest, because I was a bit confused at that first. Because this surely should be leaving alpha and going to say FatTech firmware or something else. But I think they are going to keep it alpha, from my gather.
Beta's always beta flight.
Yeah, or Betaflight.
True.
Yeah, true.
But it's just called alpha. There's no is it FatTech alpha or what's the? Because normally alpha is just a version. It doesn't. Beta is Betaflight. It's not just beta firmware.
They've got on their website FatTech Alpha, so I'm going to assume it's called FatTech Alpha. That's the name of it. But yeah, about KISS and everything. People mention KISS it's sort of legacy now. They're not going to be updating it, but I don't think that's really been proven too true, because they've recently just added BR Heli pass-through for KISS. And also, I've also heard news that they're also looking to backport the OSD functionality that's in alpha to KISS. So we're looking to do that, I think. I can't make promises about that. I don't know what's going on with that.
Old boards.
Yeah.
Tell us about the OSD functionality. What makes that special then? I know there's a bunch of menus in there.
So they're going to be releasing a new update soon. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's going to be supporting all digital systems. It's going to be supporting O3, Walksnail. It's going to be the full HD OSD as well. So you're going to be able to place elements wherever you want on the screen. It's really good. I think it's probably one of the best implementations of it, because in the actual GUI on your web browser, it mirrors it. So you can literally go into the GUI, go into PIDs, and it's literally exact same as what you're seeing in your OSD, just in text in text there. And it's all the menus that you can expect within the GUI, out in the web GUI, is in your goggles as well, which is really good. So I really like it.
So you can do a really good implementation. All the entire quad setup at the field without getting your phone out or anything. Yeah. You can just sit there.
Obviously, not firmware updates. I don't think you can do that. But in terms of the actual OSD and what you get inside there, PIDs, rates, even changing motor directions and like orientation, stuff like that. Yeah, you can
move
do that
the OSD elements around and all that.
Yep, you can move them to wherever you want. It's also supports. It's now supporting RSSI as well and LQ. So you got both as well, so you can see your RSSI in there, which is great for signal and stuff like that. But yeah, really good.
Very handy. Yeah, I've got to get this build in the air. It's lurking around. There's this AOS 5 frame. It's got the FC and ESC. I haven't got the motors on it yet. It's going to be a DJI FatTech build, but I haven't quite got around to it.
Banging around, failsafe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Stop moving.
My
A
sister.
ferret hammers on its feet.
Yeah.
One of our viewers thought that it was the dead rising. That all this banging was they were going to be zombies coming up through failsafe's floorboard any second, just reaching up for him.
You're like the worst upstairs neighbour.
No, I think it's my sister. I could just hear the door. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, FatTech and
funny.
That's what we're talking about.
Have you've asked your Instagram followers for some questions?
Yes, I have.
What if we...
So So, first question is: have you ever flown a city lifter? Now, I have not flown a city lifter, but I'd love to. It's just been I did at one point plan to build an X class, but at the time I was actually doing apple picking, and like I didn't really expect to be doing that forever. So I was like, I can make this investment now, but I don't think I'm going to be able to afford the repaired parts, because the motors each are like 100 quid. It is it is just ridiculous. But yeah, I'd love to build a city lifter, but I don't think I'd really. I think what I'll do is I'll get too into it. I'll probably end up freestyling it, and I'll probably crash it, knowing me. So
if you go for something a bit more modest, like so that 7-inch that you tinkered with, it was running really.
yes.
So Failsafe at FPV Drone Fest flew my 7-inch. It was running cheapo Emax Eco 2 motors, but I was going to upgrade that to some Zing 2 2809s, which in the cine lifter class they'll do 8S on 7-inch, or you can go to 6S at like 8-inch or 9-inch. They're only about 35 quid a pop, so they're like premium 5-inch motor pricing.
Well, that's doable. I can do that. Yeah, I'll love, maybe perhaps you're 7-inch instead then. Yeah, I really did. It's a really great flying experience, like with just all that momentum and mass. Like, just, yeah, it's really fun.
Roller coaster flying,
different for sure. Yeah. But yeah,
can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I've not followed city lifter. Let's go to the next question. Did you get your quad back from Insta360 FPV Drone Fest? So for those who don't know, in fact, I'm going to bring up a quick image here of the Drone Fest for you guys. But yeah, there's basically it was basic Clipstone colliery, which is like an old power station, and they've got these massive sort of, I don't know exactly what they're called, but massive like tower things. Do you know, Stephen, what they're called? Exactly, like towers, or
it was a something head, a mine
headstocks.
Yeah,
I think they're called. Yeah. So I end up flying. I was actually showing someone the Avatar system, and I was flying off a monitor, and I ended up crashing right at the very top. I was coming through, and I was coming out. I was like, it's gonna be sick. I'm gonna show them the system and all this, and I just went and caught one of the wires that went diagonally. Ended up caught it as I went by.
Were you up by that wheel at the top?
Yeah, the very top.
Wasn't that a chain?
It was close to the chain. It wasn't on the chain, but yeah, it was outside that I flew it, and I got it caught, and it landed on the platform at the very top. Now, of course, with Drone Fest, the one downside to it was we're not actually allowed up to the very top to go and collect our drones, which is something we're going to be improving on next year's one. Hopefully getting a spot which is more accessible for everyone. But yeah, I ended up getting stuck up there. We couldn't get it back. The landowners weren't letting us go up there because it's just a liability thing. The stairs are quite rusty and quite sketchy, so they didn't want us going up there. And yeah, so that's another quad lost in Clipstone colliery. So
did you not get it back?
Not got it back. I've also sort of talk about that one. So also lost the quad out in Croatia, which fail-safed. Sort of DJI cut out, and then it landed in a field somewhere we weren't able to get it. And I've also lost in the farmer's field as well. So it's been a bit of a.
But you must have some fantastic footage for all of these crashes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got some amazing footage. So
you play any of it? Have you got it?
I've got yes, I can play some. Let's just see if
while you're rooting around, can I throw you a couple of easier questions?
Yeah.
I've got a question from Rabbit Ambulance, wondering why did you switch from the TBS Tango 2 to the Radiomaster Zorro with Express LRS and from DJI to Walksnail? Spoiler there, he hidden. U-Traitor was under the spoiler. Apparently
that is a very good question. So yeah, I'm currently flying the Radiomaster Zorro, which is I really like the remote. Compared to the Tango 2, it's got one downside, which is the battery life. The stock battery life will just about get you a few flights, but you can't just sort of leave it charged and expect to be going out the next day with it fully, with it sort of reliable charge on it. Which is the one thing that's really annoying. But yeah, hopefully there is some mods you can do to add 18650 batteries in here as well. It's currently got 18 350s.
Oh, they're tiny.
But, they are. They're ridiculously small.
Half the size, aren't they?
Are they hot swappable at least?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. So I can.
Really? I thought if you took one out, doesn't it shut down because it's 2S?
Oh, hot swappable. Yes.
But what it does have is like,
yeah,
it's got a 2S plug on the front, so you can jam a 2S into it and charge it, right?
Yeah, you've got a 2S JST connector there as well, so you can plug in an external battery. But yeah, so the main reason why I switched to Tango from the Tango 2 is because I've got quite a while ago I got into ExpressLRS, started building modules, and one of them I did was I did an internal Tango 2 module. So literally, it's a little circuit board which you then place inside your Tango 2. It will stick to the built-in RF chip inside of it, so you actually get cooled, passively cooled through that. Yeah, the antenna will be inside. But yeah, I had a bit of issues once when it was one of the really hot days, and I had a couple of issues with it. So what I decided was, before I went to Croatia, this was just right before Croatia, I didn't want to be having problems with heat out in Croatia for a whole week. When I'm having the whole week there just to fly, I don't really have problems. And yeah, it gets really hot. So Ian from FatTech was selling a Zorro. Well, I mentioned to him about a Zorro, and he had a spare one, so I bought one off him. And that's this one here.
Very nice.
But yeah,
I noticed your really gimbal MB kicked in there, and there's a little bit of shiny metal we can see.
There is the A01 minis, which are amazing.
Well, does the Tango? Sorry, did the Tango 2 overheat, or the Zorro?
The mod. It's just a module at the way
it modded it for internal Express
because I modded it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I'm all for, like, I've not really flown Crossfire in a while, but yeah, I'm all sold on ExpressLRS now. It's just amazing. So don't really want to go back to anything else, really.
I did wonder how long you were going to hold off on those gimbals, because you tried my radio and you were like, ooh.
Yeah, I can. They're amazing. Just the solid, the sort of the feel at the end when you just whack it into the edge of the stick. It's got really.
If you do stick bang moves, it just feels a bit nicer.
Yeah, which is what I mostly do.
Was there any other questions?
Yeah. So from Clive FPV, question for Failsafe: how did the Walksnail sponsorship come about? You know, lots of pilots out there, they see people getting sponsorship deals now. You know, wondering how you got into that position.
So yeah, I reached out to them because of the Facebook, the way the Facebook was being run. I thought, I could help them out, be a moderator on there, we've not signed a deal as such. I've kind of just been helping out with the Discord server. So they send me stuff occasionally, like the VRX. They sent me off to test out and help with the Discord on that one as well. Yeah, that's kind of how it came about. Mainly me reaching out and helping out where I can in Discord and Facebook. In that case, yeah, that was how that came about. Yeah.
Rapid Ambulance also has a follow-up question saying that now that the Tango 3 with internal ELRS has been leaked, will you consider switching to it once it is out and available, or would you need to first be a TBS sponsored pilot and get one free to consider making that switch? I think Rapid Ambulance have got a little bit.
So it's I don't mind either way. Like I'm perfectly happy with my Zorro, but I'll give it a try, and if I like it, I'll
first things first. Is the Tango 3 with internal ELRS a real product, or is this just a big joke conspiracy that we're not all aware of?
I don't know. I've seen the picture of the radio with 2 antennas, but I don't know what their plan is. I know just recently they've announced. Well, they said, I saw a comment by Trappy in a Facebook post. Saying that they're working on OpenTX, which is what OpenTX and the Tango 2. But I don't know the site about ExpressLRS. I don't know if they're willing to go there or not, personally. But
interesting.
Especially
I heard
when
TBS are spending all their time moving the sofa to a new office, and that was taking all their effort carrying the couch up the stairs.
TBS just they could have done so much more, man. Like they've kind of dropped the ball on Tracer. I think we
don't know what we want. We don't know what we want.
They don't know what most people want. Is my opinion on that one.
We don't know what we want.
No,
Trappy does. Trappy knows what we want.
Yeah,
just ask him.
Tells us what we need and want.
Like when I saw, I don't know what the LoRa rate is on Tracer, but it's like 150 hertz LoRa, which you get with Tracer, where just like is that the best you can do? But
I think they're stuck in a position where they don't want to like compromise Crossfire, so they're like Tracer is the racing one and Crossfire is the long range one. And if they'd just been, well, Crossfire was nice, but let's like have a clean slate and do Tracer, they could have made it a lot more.
Yeah, Crossfire. Is Trappy joined the stream? I flew Crossfire for the past year of the first year of my flying. It was amazing. It didn't fail safe. I did have a few issues with fail safes, but I think that was mostly due to my receiver antenna or something like that, or the connection between that. Since I went to DJI, I did notice that bit more latency which you get with DJI compared to an analog camera, which I was using with the Runcam Racer camera I had before. So it was quite a difference. And when I went to DJI, I did feel a bit more disconnected. Going from Crossfire to ExpressLRS really sort of made it feel like analog again, that sort of low latency feeling, especially when you get out past, say, 500 meters, when Crossfire drops to 50 hertz, and then it's 50 hertz versus 500 hertz, which you get in ExpressLRS, and that's more than enough range you want. So that's kind of why I switched on that one, and been flying it ever since.
Yeah, I can't get any goddamn receivers.
It's a lovely ghost module you've got there.
This works great.
Yeah, I need to get some receivers.
Bloody receivers.
So they've done Jack. They've done what they set out to do, which is to completely supplant the TBS's market and even TBS's sales approach of having no available products for sale.
That's it. That's all you got to do. Yeah. Don't make me, because I will make an upside down Tyrannus.
Upside down Tyrannus.
That will be a thing.
Yeah, the talking. I just saw Clive's comment about the Boxer. I mean, Radio Master just absolutely smashing out recently. I'm with not only like the products, the support, what they're delivering, what people want. I mean, I think that's
they seem to be listening, which is great to see in a company.
And the Boxer for the price as well, it's 99 quid, and you're getting a full radio. Okay, it's not the ExpressLRS version, but full radio, and you're getting a carry case, and you're getting all these the gimbal protectors as well. That it's an incredible value, I think.
They're usually aftermarket. Like previously with radios, you'd have to buy the carry case separately, or you get a foam box, and then you'd have to buy the real carry case that you actually wanted as an add-on.
Drone Droid, that made me laugh so much. You've won some props, so message me on the Discord, and I will send you some props.
There will be buy blades from 5 years ago, but
and an LED board as well. Yeah. Speaking of which, failsafe, have you seen the history quad? Because you need to fly that as well.
Museum.
I haven't seen it.
Oh my!
You'll have to get it.
Have you learned enough of the alphabet? Like you kind of stuck on alpha, and then we've got to beta.
Behold, museum.
Look
at
that.
There's a letter called F, and there's a number called
incredible.
1.
I love that camera protection. That's amazing.
Yeah. Back then, if you crashed, you broke the whole thing, mate. You didn't have to worry about the camera being protected. And you see the genius design feature there. Can you see that?
What is that? Is
The
that a
entire
zip tie?
bottom, the entire bottom plate of the quad is a PDB. So if anything flexes
Are you
too much,
serious?
you've literally
That is
broken the power
mental.
supply for all of the components. Look where the battery connects. The battery solders directly onto the rear of the quad. Can you see
my
that?
gosh! Yeah.
Perfect for
So
shorting.
basically, when you do matty flips, your quad's just gonna light on fire, pretty much. Amazing.
Yeah, pretty
It
much.
wasn't
That's how
unheard
you
of.
used to light your cigarette back in the day. You put a
Also,
screwdriver.
it's running one shot, so you get like ghost motor spins on the bench when one shot gets a little bit of noise through and just randomly spins a motor.
Yeah, or the quad will just go full throttle for no reason if you leave your props on plugged in.
You have to stamp on it like a rabbit animal.
In fact, I have had that happen before. Actually, in fact, I've got a scar on my hand here. I think you can see it. Damn, look, see there? That little mark there? That is when a quad span up. I was going to pick it up, and the props just instantly span up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I was alone at the time. I picked it up. My hand was actually pouring with blood, and I had to cut my hand to try and stop it from coming out.
Put that blood into a little pot and then send it to the FatTech people,
and then anoint future quads with that blood so that they were lucky. Well, you should have seen the other guy, right? That quad probably came off a lot worse. Or not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to read out this question by Thomas Warner, FPV, who might be in the chat. He says, does gear matter? Do sponsors make you a better pilot? This is a good question.
He was 4th in chat.
He was, yes. I don't know if he's still here. But yeah, does gear matter? I don't know. Like, I've not really had time to think of it, but like, I think personally, like, you can literally fly anything. The most important thing is just getting stick time in, just being consistent, wanting to go out flying. Like back in the day, I was literally going out pretty much every single day. Back when I didn't have a job or anything, but now I've recently got a job. It's a bit hard to do that because when I get out the door, it's pitch black outside. But yeah, definitely just going out flying with what you have. You know, making the most of what you have. Yeah, and then just being consistent, keep enjoying it. That's what the hobby's all about. Just enjoy it. Yeah, as long as you have a decent tune. Yeah, I think there's a point where gear does limit you. You know, there is a point where it does, especially like some of the really low end stuff. Yeah, and yeah, like Dendroid says, having spares matters. Knowing the crash won't entail weeks of shipping. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So we have a decent tune, yeah. In terms of sponsors, like I definitely, ever since my first sponsor was Unmanned Tech, which are an amazing store in the UK, which have been really supportive of me in the flying over the past year, and yeah, they sort of picked them up as a sponsor because I was kind of in the Discord server as well, helping them out, and also uploading at the time as well, and yeah, that really did allow me to sort of think, you know, oh, hang on, if I break this, I'm not gonna be sort of, because back then I didn't really have a lot of money because I didn't have a job. But yeah, it definitely sort of boosts your confidence, I think, especially when it comes to crashing and doing dumb stuff. And I just do more dumb stuff, I guess, because you're not so worried. But yeah, it does help, and in my opinion, it does definitely help your confidence. But and especially when you haven't got like a decent income or, you know, a job, which is why I didn't have back then. I was doing, you know, selling 3D prints, which gets a little bit of money, but it's not, you know, you can't sort of buy everything with it, I guess. But yeah,
you sold a 3D printer to yours truly over there.
Yes, I did. I sold that for one over there. Yep.
Which I was running TPU at 150 millimeters per second today through, and oh my word, that's just unprecedented speed. It's a beautiful little printer. And
I think as well, I think about the gear situation. I think the situation we're in now with the stock and everything is just, it's just really bad. Like, you know, everything's being so expensive, I think, as well. It is sort of bit frustrating, I think, for people. Everything being out of stock and you have to shop around, which is a shame.
It does stop you dead. If you don't have like a wall of quads, you break one and you're like, oh well, now I can't fly.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been kind of trying not to I've been trying to live up, like sort of use the same gear every time, you know, like just keep going what I have. So I've literally like you can see here, I've got one flipping F60 Pro 5 motor here. I've got the Flyfish motor. Like I'm trying to basically just keep in the air with what I have instead of keep spending money on everything. And yeah, I'm even running.
So you need a motor
AIO.
sponsor. That's what I'm hearing there. You're running an
Yeah,
AIO on a 5-inch.
Yeah,
oh my word.
That is an AIO 35 amp. I've been running that for the past
4S?
4 months. 6S, all 6S. 1850 kV motors. It's been amazing. So yeah,
that
definitely.
I just must have crashed it, right? Like you must have crashed it.
Oh, I've crashed it. Yeah, I've given it what some, and it's
all
it just keeps going.
One, baby.
That's for those who want a decent AIO, which I've tested. You know, I'm not going to just say this because I'm FatTech. If it's crap, I'm going to say it's crap. But yeah, I've been using it for about 3 months, literally in a main 5-inch 1750 K motors and also 1850 as well. Crashing it, and it's still alive. So I guess that's what you want. I guess.
Well done. Nice.
But
that's good.
Yeah. So I've been just kind of trying to keep this one alive.
What's your frame choice, by the way?
So the frame I'm currently flying is the Superfly Juice mode.
Shout out to Superfly there.
Which is
the British guy.
Yeah, Steve at Superfly. He's really amazing at you know, being involved with the community, and you know, he's caught sort of, this is the 2022 version, so they've made a bunch of small tweaks to it. Yeah, I've been flying that for quite a bit of time, and it's still very fun. So,
the lights are from Digby Dan, by the way, and they're not Christmas lights. They are very fun. Superfly is
Superfly's a nice guy. He's also a contributor to Betaflight. He's a very helpful guy. Does a lot of preset work and things. Helps people get started.
Yeah.
So you obviously fly a lot, but how do you get the footage out? How do you get all the manufacturers to be aware of you? Is there
that is the thing, actually, and I've sort of noticed, like, some people there is definitely a way to trick the Instagram algorithm to promote your videos more. I haven't quite worked out yet, but you know, I've seen one of my friends actually. He's got he's getting I don't know how many views on each video, but I think if you repost a video at certain times or whatever, and Instagram just promotes it so much. And like I've noticed that some of my Instagram posts have got 1,000 views, and others have got 10K views, and you know, and it's still getting views now. It's weird how Instagram works and social media works to promote videos. It's super weird.
I noticed with yours,
but
they're not raw edits, but they're more straightforward edits. You don't do a ton of editing. You don't put a ton of audio on it. It's just kind of cut to the flying stuff.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Mainly just sort of, yeah, I think as well, not having music as well. I've noticed having you know, straight up quad audio and stick cam as well. I think definitely helps, because it just goes so well with Instagram with the vertical form factor. Having half of it, you stick.
What do you use to edit?
I use Premiere Pro at the minute. I did used to use DaVinci Resolve. So yeah, that's what I'm mostly using. But DaVinci Resolve is perfectly good enough. The only reason we're really using Premiere Pro is because of a plugin that I use called what's it called again? RSMB, which is like motion blur, which I don't use for FPV, but for other things as well, which I mostly use. Yeah, I think
because you're 12, or you but
you're just jealous. He knows more about social media than the entirety of the showcast.
Do you? It's scary how well I do that. Do you use TikTok?
I do. Yes, I do.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've just figured that one out.
Other than the memes that appear, because I'm a boomer, on YouTube.
Yeah, so I'll just show you. Actually, it's interesting, this one. So here you go. It's TikTok, and you can currently see. My thing's not going to focus.
Can't you share it on screen, or is it not available for browser?
You know why? It's because I've got background blur on. Yeah.
That's not a face fail-safe. We can't see.
You can't. There you
There's
go.
a
That's
bunch-
better.
I see a
Oh,
lot
just
of your
blaring.
hands. A lot of
Stop
your
blaring.
hands. Like TikTok wants us to see your hands and not much
Stop.
else. I see.
There we
There's a
go.
lot
There
of
we
it.
go. There we go.
That's a lot of.
See, you can see
pink
one
hands.
there. That's got 30K views, and that's a crash. And the rest
Have you
are
got a
like
bag? Can you put a
800.
paper bag over your head and then hold your phone? Not a plastic bag.
Just
Own plastic
Failsafe.
bag.
Open a browser window next to this one and use the present button to share it with us, and we can.
Got to allow.
It's not available on browser.
I've got to allow permissions for it, and I've got to restart the stream for it. Am I able to restart and come join back?
Don't worry. No, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You don't restart the stream. You can leave and then come back. It's fine.
Making it so difficult.
It might do the editors.
I'm going to do that quick.
I'm just going to load Instagram and show you Failsafe's feed.
Oh, okay.
Maker for the win. Have you got any idea? Can you answer this question? There was a question from Russell Keane. Howdy all. Hee-haw. Quick question for you. How do you deal with commercial jobs with PIFGO/G?
That's very interesting. And I believe in our
quads
situation, the response would be ask Frank.
Over 250 grams. Any ideas? I have no idea.
Frank?
Yeah, I mean, I've not really had any experience with doing commercial jobs, so I wouldn't really know. I know there's an A2, but I'm not sure how it comes when it comes to actually making money off things as well for commercial side. So I'm not.
That's a Tony question, I think.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure.
That's rude.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, not quite sure either.
Right, so this is the top or tick. I don't know. I'm not down with the kids.
This is Instagram. Oh wait,
the very top left one is my latest one. So
this is Instagram.
That's the
shit,
one, yeah.
Man. I am such a boomer. Failsafe, when you talk to me, is it like talking to your grandma? Because I feel like a grandma.
His grandma knows exactly what's going on, Jack. It's completely different.
So here's me flying a recent. It's on Office Park.
This is insane. Can we embiggen? No.
That's as big as we go.
Put it in pop out mode. It makes it smaller. Genius.
Just made it
This is
smaller.
amazing.
Yeah, this is Office Park in Milton Keynes, which the security that is fly there.
You found a reason to go to Milton Keynes. Kudos.
Yeah. Oh, I've been. My sort of friend lives up in Bedford, so I sort of sometimes go down there and we go for a weekend flying some of the spots there. So I've done that quite a bit, and this was one of the times where we've been down there flying this Office Park.
Have you ever got stuck on the roof?
I haven't. No, I've not. Thankfully, because that'll probably be another quad I can't get back.
I know.
But yeah.
You are ripping though. Fair play to you.
Yeah, I didn't actually
flips that are like 3 foot off the ground that freak me out.
Are they like half Rubik's cubes? What are they called? Failsafe.
I think
teach your grandma or something.
I think the things like close to the ground.
Yeah.
Some of them are called juicy flicks, where you kind of like go back on yourself. So you kind of sort of.
Is that Johnny FPV?
Yeah. Yes, I think that's what it is. What you mean?
I'm Failsafe's grandma, by the way. I'm gonna make a T-shirt that just says Failsafe's grandma.
Yeah, there's one of my clips.
If I make those, would anyone want them? Let me know.
Yeah, so most of the stuff I'm doing is kind of like really fast stuff. I do want to get into like
Russell,
flowy sort of stuff, but
I'm just impressed that you'll be cruising along and then you do a look back, and I'm like, but you're on the ground. Like, how the heck did you do a look back?
It's got wheels.
So height.
That power loop as well. That was pretty mad.
Wow.
Am I right in thinking you crashed into the corner of that little alcove at one point?
What one? In this Office Park?
Yeah.
I think I crashed into the floor there. Yeah. I did like. I think I did like a matty flip
when you're like barely off the deck and you're still.
I know.
Yeah.
That bit
Of course,
there.
you can't actually rewind it because there's no playback controls because I'm not allowed to. They know best.
I like how little information your Radio Master's displaying. It's just your name in case you forget.
I've even turned off the trim switches as well. Like if you want a best
there's nothing
OpenTX
there.
tip, is to turn off your trim switches. You do not need them for FPV.
Yeah. I use mine as switches, so if I've got like a fancy drone with like a split camera, then I can use it to start and stop the split camera. That's about it.
Sick.
Have you ever flown any fixed wing failsafe, or do you view that as like decrepit?
No, I'd love to. I do want to get into it, but I don't know how to start really. I've not really looked much into.
You buy a plane.
Well,
and then
crash the plane.
You smash it to pieces.
Crash
and then you realise hot glue is the answer to everything. And then
I'm learning. So far, the only thing I've got is you buy a plane and then you stand in a freezing cold field trying to connect a receiver for an hour, and then you fly a quad. That
is my incompetency. That is nothing to do with the hobby. That is like you've updated everything else. Like, what do you want from me?
Oh, it's lovely to go and fly anyway, but oh my word, that plane thing wasn't destined to
Meanwhile, I'll just cut to the Express LRS change log. Who should update their receivers from 3.0? Everyone with a PWM receiver. Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I like the way that you're thinking that would have been the thing that would have like stopped us from crashing the plane. Like
no, me.
Express LRS.
It would have been me.
Fixes
Jack.
everything.
Like, I would have been the person that crashed the plane.
I will take full responsibility. I'm the idiot. Like.
Well, if you're the idiot, I'm idiot's sidekick. So
Yeah. You're flying the history quad, man. You're like, what is this? And you're like, how do I do this? And
why did they do every design decision on here? Why did they do it? It's just why this? Why
the camera protection?
Why that?
The camera protection failsafe is the shitty metal bracket that's made out of cheese. Is so shit that when you crash, it just moves the camera out the way.
A bit like the Speedy B one. That was
like,
in the Speedy B one.
Look at the way the camera. You might think that they're standoffs top to bottom. No, the camera's just like screwed into the PDB.
Yeah.
Wait, there's not even standoffs there. It's just plastic, is it?
No, it only goes to the bottom of the frame. It doesn't go to the top.
I mean that frame will probably be 03 compatible, so there's that. With a massive opening.
You can fit 303s in it.
You're in trouble there, mate, because you've only got two UARTs. You've got one that's used for USB, and you have to connect the OSD to that. So I suppose you could use that for the 03, and then you've got the receiver. There's two UARTs.
Can you plug it in?
The one you use for the USB port.
Can you plug it in?
No, because I have to reach for something to prise out the OSD chip before I can plug it in, Jack.
Yes, of course. Hang on, I'll get one. I will show failsafe. Like the
you literally have to get something and lever out the OSD chip, and then you can plug in USB because the OSD is using the same serial port that the USB does.
Oh my god!
It's not like a built-in USB on the CPU. It's just a UART that goes out to a USB to the serial board. Yeah, it's like got an FTDI on the board.
Oh yeah.
Right, failsafe. This, like AD and BC.
AD and BC.
Common error.
This is F1.
F1. What is that actually? F1.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's an F1 in history quad as well.
Yeah.
You can't turn on dynamic notches because it's too slow. You've got just static notch filters.
Right.
So you have to know exactly where your resonance is, and if it changes for any reason, well, you're out of luck.
Oh wow! And it's even got like the headers coming out the side there.
Look, Afroflight. This is real.
Oh my word!
So this is the acro version, and this is the full version. Would you like to know what the difference is?
Yeah, has one got one more UART?
No, a barometer and a magnetometer. That's the only difference.
How did he?
And the full has got a flash chip, which
Oh,
I had to buy a
1 megabyte?
separate one and then put it on the other one so Stephen could do Betaflight, right? But here you go, right? So I'd like to present to you my
Not that you'll get much motor noise because it's really low kV motors on 4S.
You know, like
it was
old
originally
people.
3S.
Yeah.
You know how they've got to have like shortcuts for everything on a desktop. This shortcut is old ass Betaflight configurator 10.1.0. It has to run on compatibility mode. So this is old ass Betaflight, which you just get constant errors. Like,
are you sure you want to do this? Are you really still sure you want to do this?
There's a newer version.
Nothing looks to have changed much.
Oh no! Wait till you log in.
No.
There is nothing in there.
For this?
Is it like Kiss? Are you just simple? They added more options in this version.
Comport 18. It makes a new one for every one. Woo!
Whoa!
It doesn't
Thank
connect.
you, Windows.
Of course. Come on, you
that's
fucking...
All right, I'll get the pliers and I can show
you.
Here you go. Here you go.
It doesn't look any much different though. It looks the same.
No. Look how few tabs there are. Go to the pitch tuning tab.
Hang on. Wait for it. We're going to click expert mode. You ready for this? Failsafe. It changes nothing because there was no expert mode. There was nothing. It didn't do anything. Look.
Oh.
Right. It shows some extra
2 UARTs. Wow.
You got one UART that's using the USB, and then you've got the second UART. And if you really want to,
look at that loop rate, man. That's out of this world.
Wait. What? Is that 7%?
1K.
Yeah, hang
CPU.
On.
It's running 1K, 1K.
Right.
We tried to run
that's what Kiss runs at, I'm pretty sure. So
we tried to run 2K and it just pooped itself.
Yeah. Nice.
Betaflight 3.1.7. Is that 3.1? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to do a special build to enable ESC pass-through.
And it doesn't even
cut features out and do a custom build to get ESC pass-through.
Configuration. If you turn on soft serial,
I'm surprised at, to be honest, I'm surprised at actually how much like features you've got, like the options as well. Like it's not really
there's no
cut down as I thought it would be.
Go to pitch tuning.
Dynamic.
Go to the pitch tuning. Like that's it, right? There's no options. That's it.
Yeah, there's no right. Wait, you got no rates. Where's your rates?
There's no.
They're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no options for anti-gravity, nothing. It's just not there.
It doesn't exist.
Kind of like Kiss in that regard.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is about the era that basically, I guess, Kiss split off, and it kept it simple to this level.
I mean, that's kind of why I liked it in some ways, because you can get pretty addicted to shooting sign. It's not a bad thing, but if you want to actually progress in it, I think that's the thing is you can spend more time on tuning than you actually are getting stick time in and flying, which is going to make you more progress as a pilot, and that's why I quite like Kiss. But yeah, like no either way, you know.
You've got a bit of like an obsessive streak where you're like have to get it totally perfect, and Betaflight was just giving you too many things to change, and you're like, let's just get that out of the picture and have a nice clear workspace.
Yeah, that's kind of why I liked Kiss.
No, there is an air mode but it was the shitty air mode where you land and then it does that bounce thing.
Oh yes, yeah.
Fail safe.
They've included options for perching in 4.4. They're like tweaking air mode so you can perch without weird stuff happening.
Oh yes. Have you also seen as well? We're talking about Betaflight. Have you seen the new announcement actually in the Betaflight Discord? Discord. They're no longer supporting FR Sky, guys. They're no longer supporting FR Sky.
So you may or may not know, but I spent a bit of time talking to the Betaflight crowd. They will support FR Sky. That was one guy who had one too many support issues arrived, and someone just like got a bit stressed out and preemptively went no. but actually it's going to be okay. And the comment was specifically about the SPI receivers. It wasn't about FrSky in general. It was about the SPI receivers.
Oh, right. So
because they just kept breaking all the time, and people would say, "Oh, I'm losing signal." And the quality of the SPI receivers is all over the place. A lot of them don't have low noise amplifiers or power amplifiers on them. They're just unpredictable, and it was causing a lot of problems. So really, if you're flying a Whoop these days, you should be either using Red Pine or using Express LRS. Like the FreeSky SPI protocols have never been supported by FrSky. They are not terribly reliable, and probably not a good idea to use them.
Because I've just seen as well Tailspin put in the chat about using feed forward, anti-gravity, and air mode as well. Yeah, I do use I use air mode all the time because I've not had much of an issue with the bouncing, because that, like, you know, when I'm flying, I can't see a need really when I'll just turn the PIDs off, apart from when I'm perching on things, but it's never really been much of an issue for me.
Your flying style isn't really a perching one, is it? You're like keeping going until the battery's dead or you crash.
Yeah, I there's some settings, you know, they have the uses, but I think, you know, like I'm perfectly happy with, you know, like spending more time flying rather than just, because if I dive into it, I'll just get obsessed and I won't really spend much time flying.
Oh, I hear you, man.
But if you're into that sort of thing, then amazing, you know, go for it. But you know,
I found it a lot more stressful before, like 4.3. I think they've dialed it down, so there's all those expert options now, but you don't have to go into them. It used to be you have to trawl through them, and it was quite stressful. I agree.
Yeah, they're really simplifying it now. They've even added, I see they even added the motor setup tool, which just looks amazing. You just click a button. Yeah. You can then click on a diagram and select which motors were going well, and it just maps it all correctly. It's amazing. So that's really good.
And it doesn't spin the motors full speed, because normally, previously, if you used the sliders, you'd try and blip the motors. And if you weren't careful, you just put them on full speed, and bad stuff happened. But yeah, you can do it. I mean, I wouldn't recommend anyone to do it with the props on, but you know, I've done it with the props on. Not always on 5 inches, but I've done it on a lot of micros with the props on. And it'll just kind of pulse the motor relatively slowly when you use that tool. It doesn't like whack them up to full throttle, so you can see which direction they're going and which motor is which quite easily.
It's really good to see.
But I'm sure Ultra will get these as well. You know, now Ultra is getting more development. It's just KISS hasn't had a lot of people working on it. Ultra is essentially going to.
And like, you know, what Alex has done with the OSD for analog is amazing. You know, he's added the KISS Ultra OSD, you know, with that H7 running at 60 FPS for analog, it does look insane. I've not really tried it myself, but it's got to be nice flying that on the analog with all the menus and all the tools he added as well. It looks really good. Yeah, like awesome. This Jack just disappeared.
He may have had a little emergency that end. So, anything else you want to say to the viewers? We kind of talked about Walksnail, and there's been some bits and pieces. Obviously, we can put our own fonts on Walksnail now, and I saw that there's also an option for flight controller control of where the Walksnail OSD elements are that's appearing in the latest betas, which is an interesting one too. Yeah.
Yes, the OSD. Yeah. I was in the the canvas mode OSD or the actual Walksnail one. I'm not quite sure what you're on about.
So both really. There's this option where there's some MSP extensions that are coming in to give us like an HD grid. So you go from it used to be with NTSC you had 30 by 13 and PAL you had 30 by 16 characters, and then when you go up to the new sizes, I think it's 53 by 20 or 22.
Yes, so I'll just bring up a link here. Have a look.
But there's also an option where the flight controller will actually be able to show like the goggles battery voltage and be able to position that. So your flight controller OSD preview gets to move around options like the VTX signal strength and the VTX battery.
Yeah, which so I can see, 15
fixed.
So 03 and Alpha firmware here, I can see they've added 30 by 16, and it's with the canvas mode you've got 50 by 18 sort of spaces where you can move the OSD elements. Which is really good. But yeah,
and I think it comes up to 50 53x20 because it allows you to like take the OSD elements that were Walksnail goggle elements and then move those around. And that if you see that there's like an option, goggles UI, and it says show off or FC CTRL.
Yes,
the FC
yes,
CTRL
you can actually
means that the flight controller tells the goggles where to put its OSD elements, not just the flight controller OSD elements.
Yeah, so and it also means you can just run the MSP DisplayPort, because like currently we can see the battery voltage and also the battery voltage which is getting over the flight controller communication. With that disabled, you can just show the canvas mode one and no sort of on this sort of elements which you don't really need.
So you don't have two battery voltages, save some space.
Yeah, there has been a few issues with the OSD, which they're looking to sort out with iNav, with second page, and a load of people have been reporting it in Discord server, where basically if you have a custom font on iNav and you were using like loads of elements, it would just completely disappear. But yeah, they are being active and working on that, which is a good thing.
Well, it sounds better than
like
HD0. HD0 struggles with heavy OSD.
I'm not sure how it compares to HD0, but I'm not too sure what the difference is between that. But
their update rate's quite low if you put too many elements on screen. There's not a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah, not too sure.
Anyway, Jack is about to call it, I believe.
Yeah, that is about it. Sorry about that, FailSafe.
No worries.
I've got Crohn's, so periodically I will now have to run away and have a wank, for emergency purposes.
So medically prescribed wank.
Yep. Good luck editing that one out, editor. Sorry, buddy. Making sure you're still awake at the 10-minute over mark. I do apologise. Feel free to cut a load of shit out if you want. You've been listening to Let's Drone Out. Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us.
This show has been supported by our lovely Patreons. You can tell who they are because they've got a spanner in the chat. We are live every Thursday at 8 till 9 p.m. UK time. Please like, subscribe, and share this. If you can, share this in the FatTech Discord because they'll love this. I'm
sure they will.
Yep. And guys, you've been great. You've been joined by everyone's favourite man with a moustache, Belric.
Stephen.
Have a good evening. Thanks for joining us, FailSafe.
The lovable and scrappy FailSafe.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. I will torture him later. And I have been FailSafe's grandma. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Patreons. Bonus.
Thank you.
Pods.
Thank you all.
We'll hang out
Patreons.
now. See you in a bit. Got to do Christmas.